Say you have two 3-0 players.
Yeah.
That on paper are their level is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say? Where would you say then is maybe the key thing that would tilt the advantage to one rather than the other, as far as winning or losing a match? What do you think the first thing you would say?
Winning or losing a match?
Yeah.
At 3-0?
At 3-0.
That's a tough
when
question.
When it comes down to equal on paper, where do you think maybe where would you then tilt it?
Yeah. So at 3-0.
At 3-0.
And there's no age discrepancy, right?
No.
So at 3-0, I would say it's definitely a matter of skill. In other words, technique.
Yeah.
So if you are at 3-0, you probably have problems somewhere. Maybe you have a terrible second serve or you have a terrible backhand. There's something going on at 3-0, 100%, right? So improving those deficiencies, that's going to put you up, and it's going to give you a huge advantage.
So the person who is technically a little more sounder at the 3-0 level, their chances of winning, I agree, probably better.
As the level goes up, now you get into a more complex situation. I will say though, as a caveat, that at the lower recreational levels, the most important thing is getting the ball in play. And sometimes it doesn't matter how that's done. That's going to win a lot of matches. So you could technically have somebody with a horrible technique, with bad form, that gets a lot of balls back in play based on their competitive spirit, their willingness to fight and run every ball down, and they're just very crafty that way, and they keep the ball in play forever. They're going to win a lot of matches at that level.
I'd say from the 4-0 level and below.
I would even say to some extent even at the 4-5 level,
yeah,
where you see this type of game be not so effective is when you get towards 5-0, where players have more of a full repertoire and they have more power and they can blow people like that off the court. But at the lower recreational levels, whoever puts the ball in the court is going to win a lot of matches. Now, somebody wants to ask me, Nick, why don't you teach that, Why don't you teach that style? Because ultimately that's a limiting way to play tennis. You're going to reach a plateau eventually. Like I said, it's probably going to be at 4-5 where your plateau is if you're a player like that. So for that reason, I would never teach somebody to play like that. In other words, have very poor form and just get the ball in play. Moon ball or dink or slice or whatever. So that's why I try to develop proper technique for everyone, because then you don't have any plateaus coming your way. You can get as high as you possibly can on the recreational level scale.